Hi everyone! I thought that I would do a video on what is in my travel makeup or cosmetics bag for you. I've seen a number of these videos and have enjoyed watching them, and I've always wanted to do one, but just never got around to it. But I just returned from my trip to Las Vegas and decided that before I unpack all of my beauty and cosmetic items, I would show you what I take with me. So first off, the cases that I have, I actually got at Walmart. They came together all as a set, and they're by Modella or Modella, I'm not really sure. But part of the reason that I got it is because, well, one, I liked the way that it looked with the pink, white, and black, and how it all matched together, but also it all came together in the one big clear container. Now, when there's stuff in it, I can't fit this one inside, but it is handy how it kind of fits together when it's empty, so it's all in one place and together. So I'll just take them one at a time, try to get through it as quickly as possible for you. So let's start out with the makeup, which is primarily in this one here. I will say I brought more than I needed on this trip. I didn't end up using a number of the things, and I will tell you which of those there were. So maybe this will help me when packing in the future to not bring as much. So I had my beauty blender, and I only used it once. I thought I would use it a lot more than I did, but that did not happen. I brought it because I was planning to use foundation. I brought my L'Oreal True Match Lumi foundation, and I did not use it once. I don't know if it was because it was a warmer climate or why, or if I just didn't have enough time to do full makeup, but I did not use it at all, so that was taking extra space that I didn't need to use up, but maybe I'll know now in the future. I had even brought a second travel foundation by Makeup Forever in case the Lumi one ran out because it looked like it was getting low, but again, didn't use it at all, and this is why I didn't have a need for the beauty blender much. This, however, did get used. I just got this before I left. It is the Urban Decay Naked Skin Color Correcting Fluid in Peach, and I got it before I left. Had never used it before this trip, and I love it. The formula is amazing, it applies very easily, and it does a great job of canceling out those dark under eye circles. So I think this will be a product that I love for a while to come. And along with that, I brought my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer, which I still love and worked great in conjunction with the Urban Decay Color Corrector. I brought two blushes with me, and I did use them both, and they're both from Bare Minerals. This one is in the color Pink Pearl and has a little bit more shimmer to it. And this one is in the color Gala, and it's a little bit darker and had a little bit less shimmer to it. And then I brought my Real Techniques blush brush. Also brought this travel size of the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder for setting my under eyes, and it's the first time I used that, and it worked really well, and it was nice having it in this little compact size. Other things I didn't use were primers because I wasn't using foundation, so I didn't have a need to use my primer, but the two I brought were first the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Oil, thinking I'd be in the desert and that I would need the oil, but it wasn't the case. And I also purchased a full size of the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer because I love it so much, but have not used it yet because I bought it just before this trip and did not need to use it on this trip, but I will have it to use now that I am home. Brought my Maybelline The Nudes palette, thinking that it had some good neutral colors, and I did use it quite a bit while I was there. I also didn't want to bring some of my larger, more expensive palettes, so that's why I went with this one, and I think it was a good choice. Also needed an eyeshadow primer, so I used this one that I got in an Ipsy bag. It's by Elizabeth Mott, and it is the Thank Me Later, and I really like how it works. Again, I used it for the first time on this trip, and it worked really well. I thought it would be easiest if I just laid out all my brushes for you that I brought to show you what I brought and what I used, and I did actually use them all. This one I used for setting in that Laura Mercier powder. These three were for my eyes and eyeshadow. Oh, and if you want to know the brands, this one for the powder is by me. Two of the eye brushes were from Bare Essentials. Another of the eye brushes was one from the Body Shop that I got in my advent calendar last December. Then I had this dual-ended brush because I like to have this end to kind of blend in my shadow once I've put it all on, and this is again another Bare Essentials brush. Then I just use this little brush, which I no longer know the brand because it's not written on it, but this is what I use to blend in my highlight. And I apologize that these are not clean, but since I just got home, I haven't had a chance to clean them yet. And then I always have one of these with me, more for this end, so that I can comb through my eyelashes if need be. And this is actually a Morphe brush. And I mentioned highlighter, and the only one I brought was my one by Becca because I know I really liked this one, and it did actually work really well while I was there. For shadow, I brought this single shadow by Bare Minerals in Silver Lining. I talked about this in my last favorites video. I just wanted a silver that was going to be reliable and I knew would look good and I could count on, so that's what I went with. And then I brought my fairly new Urban Decay palette because it was smaller and easier to travel with. I felt that it had a good variety of colors to take with me, and I did use this quite a bit as well. I brought my mini beauty blender that needs cleaning badly, but it worked well for blending in my concealer, so I got a lot of use out of that. I brought my e.l.f. makeup remover pen just in case I made any mistakes and needed to fix the mistakes without removing all of my makeup. I brought this Bare Minerals eyeliner, which I did not end up using because I brought another liner from the Body Shop, and that's the one that I used more, but that must be stuck in one of the other containers because it is not in here, but I did not use this one. Then I brought my new L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer Pencil. I heard a lot of people on YouTube talk about this and compare it to the Anastasia Brow Wiz, and while I've never used that, this is now my favorite eyebrow pencil. It has a great spoolie on one end, and the other end has the actual brow pencil, and you don't have to sharpen it, you could just turn it up to get more, and I just really like the way that it works. It makes doing the brows very easy, and I will continue to use it going forward. Along with that, I brought the brow gel that I've been using lately, which is by Rimmel, and it's Brow This Way, and I think it works pretty well. I mean, it's affordable, and sometimes you do have to be careful not to get too much on the applicator, because you could get big chunks or clumps, but if you're careful, then I think it works really well. I brought a new mascara with me that I had never used before, and it's by Lancome, and it's called the Hypnose Drama, and like I said, I've never used this before, but I loved it. It only takes a few applications and your eyelashes just look amazing. I'm sure it's probably expensive. I don't know. I haven't looked into the price because this is just a sample, but I really love this mascara. So that is everything that was in the first container. So let's go on to the next one. So in here we have some of my shower stuff. I have the shampoo and conditioner that I brought. And these came in a Walmart beauty box a while ago. And they're from Schwarzkopf. And they're the Essence Ultimate with Luxurious Pearl Essence. So I really like the way that these work. They really make my hair look and feel nice afterward. So that's why I decided to bring them. And then I brought my Fekkai Soleil Hair Mist to not only protect from sun damage, but also heat damage. So that's what I brought along for that. And then I brought my Caress Shower Gel in Love Forever. So that smelled good and worked nicely. Then these are two of the perfume samples I brought. I kind of like to bring these when traveling because then I won't be too upset if anything happens to them. They're small and don't take up space. So the first is the replica perfume that I got in my last Sephora unboxing. And the Michael Kors Gold, I think it's called. So those were two of the ones I brought. I also brought Ralph Lauren Romance, but that evidently wasn't in this bag, so it must be in another bag. But those are the scents that I used while I was there, and I liked all of them. They're all very different, but I did enjoy having and using all of them. So in here is where I kept my lip products, which is probably the thing I brought the most of just because I love them and I love having options, but I do think I used pretty much everything. First, I brought some cake batter chapstick because you've always got to have your lips moisturized. I also brought along a sharpener because I wasn't sure if I would need to sharpen my eyeliners. One of the lipsticks I brought was from Milani in Matte Orchid, and that's this pretty hot pink color here. I also brought this one from Wet n Wild in the color Don't Blink Pink, Rose Princess. And you might think it looks similar to the Milani one, but actually they look quite different on the lips. I'll just give them a quick swatch for you so you can see the difference. So the darker one is the Milani and the lighter one is the Wet n Wild. So you can see that while they're both pink, they are quite different pinks and definitely do look different on the lips. I brought another Milani in the color Matte Darling, and this is more of a purple mauve color. I brought another Wet n Wild, and this is in Red Velvet, and this is probably the only lipstick that I didn't use. I didn't end up wanting to wear red, so this one did not get used while I was there. And the final lipstick I brought was one by Rimmel, and the color is Candy. And it's kind of a frosted pink color, but I like to mix this one with other colors. As you can see, there's some other color lipstick on there. So I brought this one to mix along with other colors, and I did get a lot of use out of it. Then I brought a couple of glosses, the first being a NYX Butter Gloss in the color Strawberry Parfait. So that's just a pink gloss, and I was able to use that. Then I brought one from Maybelline. This is called Rose Redefined, and I wore this on its own as well as with lipstick underneath it. And then I also brought a Sephora Oil Infusion in this pretty coral color. Does it have a name? Yes. Bubbly Grenadine, but it does go on more clear than coral, but I did use that on its own. So that's it for glosses and lipsticks. Other things in this bag were the Body Shop eyeliner that I couldn't find before that I did use on this trip, the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil in the clear color in case I needed it to use with any of my lipsticks, which I did end up needing to use it. Then the Ralph Lauren perfume I was looking for, some hair ties, and a clip. That's what was left in there. Now on to the final container. I brought my new from my Walmart beauty box Colgate Optic White Express White toothpaste, which worked great. I did have a toothbrush, but it was just a disposable one, so I left it there and got rid of it because I use an electric one at home. I also brought this lotion. I usually bring it when I travel. It's the Johnson's Melt Away Stress Lavender and Chamomile Lotion. Some floss, because you always gotta floss even when you travel. And it's the Oral-B Glide in Mint, because that's the one that I really like to use. Then a makeup item got in here. This is the L'Oreal True Match Powder. I brought this in case I got shiny at all with it being hotter weather, and I did need it and did use it. And this is the Bare Minerals brush that I brought in order to use to blend in the powder. For nighttime, I brought my Origins High Potency Nitamins face cream, and I used this a few nights, and it worked well for those nights that I used it. But in addition to that, I also brought my Origins Drink Up Intensive Overnight Mask, because every time I've previously gone to Vegas, my skin just goes crazy because of going to the dry desert air that my skin is not used to. And I used this for this trip. I used it the night I arrived, and then other nights after that when my skin felt really dry and felt like it needed a little bit something more. And it worked really well, and my skin didn't have as many issues as it had in past years. So I'll definitely be taking this along anytime that I'm going to a desert area. I also brought along my new sample of the Fresh Soy Face Cleanser because I didn't want to bring along my big cleanser, and I used it morning and night, and it worked really well. For every day, I brought the Aveeno Absolutely Ageless Daily Moisturizer with SPF 30. I really liked using this. I liked the way it went on and felt, the texture of it, the smell, everything. So I will be looking to use this much more in the future. My Venus razor, not that exciting. With it, I used the Pure Silk Shave Cream in Raspberry Mist. I did bring along a sample size of the Batiste Dry Shampoo, thinking that I might need it some point, and I did use it at least once. And this is in the scent Blush, and I really liked this scent. I would get this scent again, but I really liked having the travel size of the dry shampoo. It worked out great. Then some travel size makeup remover cloths. I used these every night to help remove my eye makeup. I brought some Tresemme hairspray. I think I only had to use it once, but the one time that I did use it, it worked really well. It didn't make my hair super crunchy, which I really appreciated, and I really liked the way that this sprayed, especially being a sample size. Then for my makeup setting spray, I got the Wet n Wild Photo Focus. This is new. I got it before this trip, and I got it because it was a little bit less expensive than the Maybelline or the L'Oreal one, but I think in the future that I will pay the extra money for those because I can't stand the smell of this. I don't know what it smells like, but it just does not smell good to me. And I also think that the others spray a little bit better. So I'll use this until it's finished, but I will be getting others in the future because of the smell. So that was everything that was in my travel makeup and cosmetics bags. I know it might seem like a lot, but I like to have options when I'm traveling, and I'd say I used the majority of it. While some things, a few items I didn't use at all, the majority of it I did use and used multiple times. So I don't think I overpacked too much. I could probably take a little bit less next time, but I do enjoy having options. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you'd like to see other travel videos in the future, such as what I pack in my suitcase, what I pack in my travel carry-on, and I'll try to do that for you the next time that I'm traveling. But give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you next time. Bye! I explored what I wanted to of Central Hall, and now I'm off to visit South Hall, which I think